Came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon.
Holy shit, dudes. Let me tell you what, man. Sometimes, I don't think I'm ever surprised anymore, but holy shit am I disappointed from time to time. So, I got a big old monitor in the back. She's in the crate. It was Shetler's day off today. It's not his day off anymore. So, had to call Shetler because it's a big old Savannah monitor, got whacked by a car. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your shit tight, man. Holy mother of God. Just keep your shit tight. I don't understand how anybody loses anything. It's fucking baffling to me. Straight baffling. Sometimes I just don't understand, like, especially with this species, bro. Slow, steady, and this thing is morbidly obese, bro. Morbidly obese. So whoever had this thing, at least it's not there now. Like, I hate to say it, but wherever it wasn't getting the right kind of care. It was getting that kind of, I love you, so I'm gonna feed you to death kind of care. So probably shaved about 5-6 years off this thing's life if it makes it through this. And then, like, how you just, I don't know. My biggest pet peeve when anybody was working for me is if a lock was left open, and we had safety doors. So we usually have all of our cages with double door entries and stuff, so it, you know, relaxes the problem of anything bouncing out and getting away. So, but I don't care if you left that lock off, and you can ask any one of my employees, if you left that lock off, you were catching the fucking heat from me, for sure. So how anybody could lose anything is far beyond me. And then this is why we have all these problems within the state and within everything we do, and all these law changes, and then people attack people like you know, Chandler, Tyler, for picking up a rattlesnake with their hands, which is completely illegal, by the way. It's their own risk to take. And then on the flip side, nobody says anything about people letting their damn lizards loose. And it's not even just this shit. We got one right out in the back of Shetler's place that we're going to be catching here soon on one of these videos that we've been tracking down for a while. And I'm not going to tell you what species it is, but I will keep you posted when we get that thing. But it's another animal that was lost from somebody, and nobody reports that shit. So if you do make the mistake, ladies and gentlemen, it's very simple. Make a phone call to the proper authorities and let them know, especially FWC with everything that's going on. Let them know you fucked up. Let them know you fucked up, so that the people like us can continue doing what we're doing, because eventually they're going to shut all this shit down. And we're on top of that list right there. So it baffles me sometimes, bro. So Shetler, poor Shetler, poor guy. He's supposed to be off today, and we're gonna go in there and bother him. All right, let's do it. Go. Look at this gold on this scale here. We got the new Hills prescription diet mat on the scale here. Homeboy's 11.8 pounds. It's crazy fat for this thing, which is funny because it says ask if your pet is at their ideal weight. No, absolutely not. He is not at the ideal weight. He is above and beyond, far beyond that. If he is even a male. We don't know male or female. I would assume. I can't even assume. That tail's too fat. Hey, Shetler, what's up?
Hi, how
Enjoying
you
your
guys
day off today?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. So you can see he's smashed up. I don't think he got ran over with a tire per se, but it does look like he got whacked pretty good. And then with the eyes closing and stuff, I don't have a whole lot of hope for it, but we gonna try.
It's already March 21st.
It's March 21st?
Jeez.
It's March?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I just gave away the
I'm
day of it.
months.
So I just spoiled the day when you're gonna do the video. Oh my god, they're gonna know how old the video content actually is unless you edit it out.
Nope, we don't edit. We never edit. Poor guy. Alright, dudes, dudettes. So, we're back from Shetler's. I can see some blood in the crate. We did some injections already of the enrofloxacin, which is Baytril, so it's an antibiotic. You can see he's got, I mean, it's either a fungus, which I doubt. It looks like he's burned up pretty good from whatever heating source these guys use, but I don't have high hopes for the lizard. This is a Savannah monitor. They're not supposed to look like this regardless. Like, dude, his belly's like a dinner plate. Like, if you get over the top of that, there it is. Like, just fucking ridiculous. Like, this animal, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean by having people know what they have, because everybody wants to see a fat, happy animal because they're so used to seeing reptiles, especially in captivity. I see it way too often in reptiles. Like, even with my crocodilians, alligators and stuff, dude, I'll skip weeks in between feeding sometimes if I see that they're getting too chunky. I keep a varied diet for that reason as well. And it's all about knowing the species you have, knowing the metabolism, the whole 9 yards, everything that goes into it. This lizard is morbidly obese. So against everything else he has to work against right now from getting crushed by a car, he also has all of this going on. So the morbid obesity doesn't help him in any way, shape, or form. I'm sure he's got, he probably has trouble breathing. He probably has trouble getting around. He probably has all kinds of problems doing all kinds of stuff, because at the end of the day, this homie is not doing so hot as far as his weight. So we're about to dose with the prednisone. Here's my regular syringe. We're going to dose with the prednisone. The prednisone is it's a steroid, and it's also an anti-inflammatory. So something else. We use it oftentimes with issues with trauma. So I've used it before on animals that have heavy trauma. We used it on Bimini in the beginning. With this one, we're gonna do, the lizard's like almost 12 pounds, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for a Savannah monitor, that's ridiculous. His tail, I'm gonna take him out in a second. I'll show you the rest of it. But we're gonna do the prednisone on a lower end of the dose because it's 3 milligrams per milliliter. I'm sorry, that's not what I'm trying to talk about. It's 2 to 5 milligrams per kilogram for him, and that's every 24 to 48 hours. We're doing, we're gonna estimate 3 kilograms, that's 6.6 pounds, even though he's 12 pounds. The reason we're doing that is because it is lipid soluble, which basically means it's fat soluble. So it does distribute throughout the body well as far as the prednisone goes, but we're doing the lower end of the dose for what the lizard should weigh, because this lizard should be like 6 to 7 pounds tops. So that's what we're dosing as, because we want to be careful. So 2 minutes, 3, 6 minutes for 6 milligrams per dose. So we're doing today, tomorrow, skipping a day, and then we're doing Thursday. I'm going to do 2 milliliters of the prednisone, so we're going to have to do 2 full ones of this. Now I want to be careful, because obviously if you look at his face, he's still got blood coming out of his nose, and I don't want to hurt his ass. And this was a call that I got late last night, and I had some people that are friends of mine, actually somebody that I grew up with. His sister called me to ask where it should go. We talked about that with the whole wildlife care center thing, and they probably wouldn't have gotten as far at all. But overall, he looks okay, but again, I have high hopes, low expectations. He's just got a lot working against him right now. He does got a little bit of tongue flicking going on, so he's semi-alert, not as alert as I would like him to be, but at the same time, he's huge, so I don't blame his ass at all. But this is not like this. This is ridiculous. Like I've never even seen a Savannah monitor with a tail that fat. Like that is some epic stuff right there. So, he's a little saggy. Bear with me. This might be hard for some of you guys to watch. And again, like, I got high hopes, low expectations. I don't want to hurt his jaws too much. I don't know how much damage went to the teeth and the jaws. All right, bud. You gotta be easy for me. I gotta do this twice because I need 2 mLs in there. All right, give it back. At least he's got some jaw pressure in there. I'm gonna give him a second on that to work that down, and then I'm gonna get him set up probably in the vet kennel and try and get him heated up. Now these guys in particular for the Savannah monitor, they do like a good hot spot. And when I say a good hot spot, I'm talking about like, 125 degrees for the spotlight area for them to bask on. And so I'm gonna get that dialed in here tonight. I'm gonna leave him in the crate because I just kind of wanted him to settle a bit. I don't want him really moving around too much, so I'm gonna get him in the garage where it's heated because I still do have a couple reptiles left in there that'll be rehomed later on. So I'm gonna put him in the garage. I'm gonna leave him in the crate overnight just to kind of hang out and chill. I want to see if he makes it through the night. If he makes it through the night, I'll feel a little bit better about the situation. But again, like, it's not even the fact that he got hit by a car that this guy's got to worry about. He's got so much working against him, even without that. Even if I, And then it just goes back to, it's like, research. I don't even know how much I can stress that. Like, clearly somebody went to a pet store, and unfortunately enough, these guys come in by the hundreds every single year over. Usually they get shipped in from Tanzania. They'll come in on those shipments. It is an African animal. It's a very common animal in the pet trade. It's a cheaper monitor. They don't get that big. This is actually a great first-time monitor. It's a fantastic first-time monitor to get. But a lot of people think because it's a great first-time monitor that also means that you don't really have to do much for it. This is bullshit. These guys at full size should have like an 8-foot by 4-foot enclosure. They should have plenty of space to dig. They do like to dig, so they should have substrate like a couple feet down. So just because it's an easy monitor to care for doesn't mean that it's easy to give it the adequate space and what it needs. So it is easy to care for. They're very chill for a species. The disposition themselves is very good. Girls, quiet. So the whole thing for these guys is that because they're so sweet generally, like they do get some mean ones, don't get me wrong, like if you don't raise it correctly, it's not gonna be, super tame. But for the most part, the disposition is that of a very relaxed, chill animal. So for that reason, it does make it a good first-time monitor, and they don't get huge. Like this is about maxed out, and again, it's extremely obese, so it shouldn't look like this anyway, but as far as the length, that's probably as far as it's gonna get. So for that reason, it makes it a good first-time monitor. The problem with that is they're on the cheaper side because they come in so much. So you have all these monitors coming in, then everybody and their brother gets them. Half of them do good by it, half of them don't do good by it. Clearly, whoever had this probably cared about the lizard. I'm not saying that they didn't, but they obviously didn't do any research and had no idea what to provide for it. So that has a nasty burn on its back. Looks like it's healed, but that does look like a burn from a heat lamp. If not, it's a fungus, because I'm going to treat it with Lotrimin anyway, just in case it is a fungus that's starting. I doubt very seriously it is, especially considering the way they live in burrows, very humid. I don't think they would get a very, that's more like iguanas. When I see that stuff on iguanas, I'll think more fungus. But for this guy, especially where he goes and where he comes from, I'm not thinking it's a fungus, I'm thinking it's a burn. So I'll keep you guys posted. We'll see. Everybody cross your fingers. This was kind of like thrown in my lap last minute. And I'm glad he made it here because at least he's got a shot. As you saw this morning, we bothered Dr. Shetler on his day off, so he helped me out with that. So we got the dosages together. I already had the prednisone here, but we got the Baytril hooked up for him too. The cool part about this is we found some good information as far as from, that's the Baytril. We got another 5 days until we get that. And the cool thing that we found out was we saw some pretty good information from the UK directly aimed at savanna monitors from a couple of different zoos over there. And usually with a Baytril, especially for injectable, we'll do that every day for about 10 days. With this guy, we only had to do the shot once, and then we do another shot in 5 days, and we'll kind of relive it there if he makes it through that time. So everybody cross your fingers. Like I said, high hopes, low expectations. Hopefully he makes it through it. I'm not even gonna bother to wash the blood off. He is still bleeding. That's why I'm trying not to move him around so much. That's why I don't even want him in the other cage, because if you tuck in the back here, let me grab this. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it, but in the back there's some blood. Obviously this is my crate that I picked him up in, so that wasn't there earlier on, and he's got some more, and it's kind of wet around the nostrils, so it's still coming out of his face, nose, and mouth, and hopefully that chills out. There we go. Open that thing up. So clean inside the mouth, but he's definitely still bleeding. Eyes don't look very good, sagging, not a lot of action from this guy. So like I said, again, high hopes, low expectations. I hope he makes it through the night, so I'm gonna be stressed out tonight for sure. And if he makes it through the night, I'll go ahead and set him up in that in the vet kennel that I usually use to rehab the animals over here. And then hopefully he makes it. And if he does, I'll be looking for a good home for him. This guy will go somewhere for free, obviously. I just want him to go to a good place. I don't think that I'll keep him here only because of everything that I got going on. I can't worry about more and add more to my plate, but I will make sure that I do everything I can to get him through, and that's all I can do. And then after that, we'll find him a good home. All right. Well, I'll keep you posted. Oh boy, pack it up, bud. Pack it up. He's been doing this shit too, so like every now and again he'll start going, and there's the blood. There we go.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Oh god.
Oh god.
So the weird part is like there's no apparent fractures or anything like that. So this dude must have been walking out and probably got whacked by a low riding vehicle and got whacked hard enough. And my fear is that he drowns in his blood because it's coming from internal, and then he keeps trying to suck it back. Again, another reason why I don't really want him moving around and stuff. But as far as everything else goes, like we couldn't find anything super broken up. So whatever is damaged internally, and hopefully that prednisone will bounce him back. Because again, that's the steroid and the anti-inflammatory. So hopefully that'll reverse this whole process. But I don't know. Like I said, no high hopes for this one. So we'll see how he is tomorrow, and then get him set up and let him, start moving around a little bit. But for now, he's already closing his eyes. Like all bad signs. None of this shit is what I want to see. But poor little dude. And quite frankly, like this all could have been avoided with proper enclosures, proper shit. And then the problem is like, dude, things like this get found, and then the industry gets attacked all the way around. I've never lost an animal in my life, and laws have been changed so many times. The guy that lost the king cobra up north, I'm not going to mention his name because I don't need that battle on my hands. But Dick Facey lost his king cobra twice, not once, but twice. And then we all had to pay the price. So even though I've never lost anything in my life, I had to change all of everything that I had going on to follow the new rules and regulations because of what one asshole did. So, I mean, that's why I say keep your shit tight, do your research, do right by the animals, make sure your stuff is intact, make sure you don't lose anything, because when you guys lose stuff, or anybody, I'm not saying you guys, don't take it that way, but when anybody loses anything, it puts everybody else's pets at risk, if you do have pets like this. So realistically, we want to keep it tight, keep it right. Boom.